Welcome back to Ways Learning, and what are we doing today? Well, today we are
learning how to make pizza crust.
That's right. We are delving deep into the world of pizza making. So a couple weeks ago, I was all into fudge, learning everything there was to know about fudge, and now we're learning how to make pizza. The cubics are not Italian. Kind of wish we were, but we're not. But we're learning how to make a pizza pie so we can have it anytime we want. And I'm learning pizza dough is pretty easy to make. So today we're going to take you through a whole, from start to finish, on how to make pizza, your own pizza sauce at home, to make it either in the oven or out on a pellet grill. And then you can also look on the channel, we're going to have a playlist because we're going to make white sauce pizza. We're going to make red sauce pizza. We're going to make it on a pellet grill. We're going to make it in an oven. We're also going to make Neapolitan pizza because Tim Johnson wanted us to make it, even though he bailed on us. We're going to make it for him. We're going to show you how to make it. You make it with peluche. So it's really simple. You need yeast. You can get this at the grocery store, a little packet. You need some salt. You need some bread flour. Now, flour is super important. You can either go with the 00 flour, which I cannot find it, or you want bread flour. You can make it with all-purpose flour, but it doesn't have the same amount of gluten in it, so it's not quite as strong. But this will make, how many ounces is that?
5 pounds.
5 pounds. It's gonna make a lot of pizzas. I think it's like, basically it's a cup and a half of flour per pizza. So we're gonna use 3 cups today in our little one we're making here, and that's gonna make 2 12 to 13 inch pizzas. You also need a tablespoon of honey or granulated sugar, and that's what the yeast is going to feed on, and we'll show you that.
Is this homemade honey? Why is it in a jar?
Oh, that special honey, that is from Bill and Sandy Davidson's. That is lake house honey. We also have another video on beekeeping that honey actually came from their hive, so that's a good question.
Wow.
So first we're going to make the premix, which is the yeast and the honey and a little cup of water to kind of get that yeast going, which is going to make the dough rise. And then the second part is we're going to make the dough, and then we're going to make pizzas and cook them. So stay with us. Should be fun, but check out the playlist if you want to see some of the other stuff today. All right, so make your dough. Like I said, there's 3 parts to it. The main first part is you're going to make kind of what I call your premix, or you're going to make your yeast. And we're putting warm water in there. Some people say you need cold water, but you want it kind of around 100 degrees. When you're making wine, you want it from 60 to 70 so the yeast kind of slowly ferment. But since we're wanting it to rise within an hour, you're going to probably get it around 100. So it's a little warmer so the yeast will work a little. We got 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast we're going to add to the water. And then we're going to add, what do you got there? 1 tablespoon of honey, or you could use granulated sugar. And what happens is the yeast will, I might add just a little bit more if you need to, but this is actually the lake house honey from Bill and Sandy Davidson's hive, which is kind of fun. Super creamy and smooth. But we're going to stir that up and let that set for about 5 to 10 minutes, just at room temperature here. And the yeast will start to kind of do its thing. The yeast eats either the sugar or the honey, and that's what starts it to fermenting to help the dough rise. So we're just going to set that aside, like I said, for 5 to 10 minutes. All right, so our yeast is kind of sat there for 10 minutes. See how it's kind of smells yeasty?
It's frothy.
Yeah, frothy. And it's kind of frothy, and it's got like a little bit of yeast smell to it. We're just going to pour that into here. Then we're going to pour in 1.5 cups of flour. Once it gets incorporated with the blender, then as it's blending, as it's turning it, mixing it, we're going to add in another 1.5 cups of flour. So it's 3 cups of flour, it's a teaspoon of salt, and it's 2 teaspoons of olive oil. So,
and we're using the dough hook.
We're using the dough hook, yeah.
Okay, let's get started. So we're adding in the yeast.
Yep, that little mixture. Yep. We're going to add in a teaspoon of salt, and we're not cowards, so we're just using the little measure God gave us. Okay.
A cup.
Yep, we're gonna do 1.5 cups.
And a half.
A little olive oil. 2 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons, whatever it takes. Tomato.
There's our half.
Yep. Lock it down. Turn it on about 1 till it gets going. Then once we add all the flour, we'll crank it up to 2 and get it going. And you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna kind of panic and go, oh, this isn't working out, but it will. It's very forgiving. And like I said, you can add in if it looks too, you're gonna do it for 6 minutes. So it's almost better if you just, once you mix all the flour in there, just break the wrist, walk away, come back in 6 minutes and look at it. If it looks a little too dry, add just a little bit of water. If it looks a little too sticky, add just a little bit of flour.
And do you come across and scrape it from the sides?
You can if you want, but once it gets going, it'll start pulling it as it whips that dough out there.
Okay, we're adding in the rest of the flour, so another cup and a half.
Yeah, just a little bit at a time now. Okay, so we add a little water, add a little oil because we didn't think it. You want it kind of where it's kind of sticky.
So if it looks too dry, you can add water and oil. If it looks too wet, you could add a little flour until you get about this consistency.
Yep. And now we're going to take it. We're going to throw a little bit of flour down. Just so it doesn't stick to the counter. You don't need a lot. And then we're just gonna throw it down, kind of make it into a really nice, you can fold it a couple times if you need to, just keep working it to make that gluten. And if you didn't have a mixer, you can do this by hand. It just takes you about 15 minutes, takes you about twice as long, and you're basically just continually folding over the dough. And then you want to get it, and we're just gonna kind of work it into a ball. Nice ball. All right, and then, okay, now we're just gonna put a little bit of oil. And this is way too big, you don't need it. It's gonna double in size, but you're just gonna basically grease this with olive oil so when it rises, it doesn't stick to it. And then we're gonna plop our bread in there. We're gonna put a little olive oil on our hands, and we're just going to put a little bit on the top of this fella, and then we are going to cover it with that lid.
So if you
for an hour to 2 hours.
If you don't have a container with a lid that's going to be large enough, can you use a rag over the top, or does it need to be sealed?
No, you can use a rag or you can use saran wrap. It's just if it's sealed, it's going to hold the moisture. But no, just loosely. This is probably going to pop that lid off to make it give a little crack. If it as it rises, that yeast is going to
expand the air.
Release CO2. And that's it. So we'll be back in an hour to 2 hours to make our pizza.
Okay, so we are going to work on the tomato paste.
The Marinara sauce for the pizza pie.
So we have a 6-ounce can of tomato paste, an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 2 teaspoons of basil, and a quarter, just a pinch of salt.
Yep. And if you want to add something else, like you want to add paprika, this is what's fun about making your own sauce, is if you like more garlic, or you like thyme or rosemary or any of that other stuff, you can add whatever concoction you want. You want to add some slap your mama to it, add a little Cajun flavor.
Why would you do that?
Max probably will. Just to dial it up a bit.
Okay. Whatever you're feeling. Okay, we've got a little bit of paste left in there.
Yeah, paste's kind of hard to get out.
Okay. So now that we've got the tomato in there, 1 teaspoon garlic. Like you said, you can add more if you're a big garlic girly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually a big garlic girl. And about a teaspoon of oregano.
Yeah, so I doubled it with the tomato paste and the tomato sauce, and you know how I struggle with tablespoons and teaspoons. Well, I put in 2 teaspoons of it, of everything, and it was yummy. So I think that might be add more, but we're just doing the minimum.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then
salt.
a little bit of salt.
Just a quarter teaspoon, so just
How do you feel about sugar? Some people add sugar to their
Oh,
tomato sauce.
they talked about that. We could add a little sugar. You want to add a little sugar?
Yeah, let's add a little sugar.
All right, add a little sugar. They do that for salsa, so probably not a bad idea. Let's try to make everybody type 2. You stir, I'll get the sugar. Just mix it in, and this you can store.
You know, I've made it to where I used tomato sauce with the spices, but I think tomato paste is really what takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
And gives it that thickness that you're looking for, so you don't have that runny sauce.
Is that too much?
Just a little too much. Just a pinch.
Pinch is for
That was like 2 tablespoons. Okay.
All right, mix it up, and then like I said, it's good for 2 weeks. Put it in an airtight jar, mason jar, and you've got salsa. That's the salsa that we're gonna
Sauce.
That's the sauce, not salsa. That's the sauce we're gonna use today.
The pizza's ready for the food.
It's the pizza pie making times. We put a little flour, but not too much, because if you get too much, it's gonna burn the bottom of the crust.
Oh.
Yeah. So now this baby doubled in size. So you want to
Punch it.
punch it down.
Punch it louder.
Then we're going to take it out, make it into a little ball. Knead it a little bit, just kind of get it kind of nice.
Okay.
Then we're going to cut it.
Oh.
Like the Boy Scouts, one of us cuts, and the other gets to pick which side you want.
Oh. Mm.
That's that? All right. Then we're just going to knead it a little more, and then get it into a nice ball. And then, like I said, you just want a little dusting of flour, not too crazy. You're going to throw it down, and then you're going to push and pull. Push and pull. We're just trying not to tear it. We're just trying to stretch the dough. These are going to make 2 12 to 13 inch pizzas.
Mine's pretty tough.
Want this one?
No, I think I can get it there.
Yeah, you just got to.
Just my bracelets get in the way.
Oh,
I can't take them off because they're soldered to my body.
Oh, that's right. What are those called?
Links.
Oh, links. Yes. What a scam. I mean, what a great idea. Can't lose it that way, though, which
It
is
is
nice.
a great idea unless you're going into surgery or making pizza.
Yes. Okay, now once you kind of get it here, you're going to pick it up, flip it over, and then you're going to kind of take your fists and you're going to kind of stretch it. You kind
Oh, that's a new
of
strategy.
throwing it like that, yeah. Stretching it out. So you're kind of really stretching the bottom, but you're using your fingers to.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Oh, tore it a little bit, but that's right.
Oh, mine tore a little.
We're just practicing. Once we get good, it'll be like flipping it.
Just wait till Christmas 2030. We'll be
Oh yeah,
experts.
2030.
How long have we had the pizza tradition? 10, 15 years?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 7.
7?
Yeah, so our family's got a tradition where we go to church Christmas Eve, then we come back and we make pizzas. Now we haven't made the pizza dough ourselves, but that's what we're trying to get up to. We usually get like Trader Joe's, or sometimes we even use like the biscuits and make it. And it's still pretty good and it's fun because everybody makes your own pizza. Because Max and I usually win. I mean, we kind of vote for ourselves, so we kind of win. But
What?
Kinsley and Jana, which I think is disrespectful to the Italians, they put pineapple and ham. They put fruit on a pizza pie, and I think that's just wrong.
I think they might do that in Italy, though.
I don't know about that. Roni, what do you think? They think they do that in Italy? Is that not a thing?
No, not a shot.
No chance.
No chance.
How's my Dylan's pickup order looking over there?
You got it.
Got it?
Okay,
7 to 8.
Okay.
we're multitasking here with the Dylan's orders on the app.
Gotta get ready for Christmas.
Yeah. All right, so I think my pie looks pretty good. You can also, how's yours looking?
Pretty good.
You can kind
It's
of,
not as big as yours.
you can
but-
kind of double the edges a little bit. We got to get it bigger then.
I kind of like it though.
You gotta
Well,
keep-
thick
you
crust or thin crust?
No, it's like a pan. When we did it before, it was like a pan.
Okay.
Not good, not good. So I think you just kind of keep lifting it up. We're still learning, always learning,
Always learning.
stretching it.
Okay. So once
Okay.
we get it stretched out, then what?
Then we put the sauce on it. And today we're doing marinara, but we got another video where we're doing Neapolitan and we're doing like 3 or 4 cheeses. You can take a fork to kind of let the air, but if you want the bubbles, just let it kind of go. But if you want it kind of stay flat, you can do these little fork trick.
I'm not gonna lie, mine's struggling a little.
All right, so now we're gonna take this marinara, which we made with the.
Do we want to put it on a plate first, so we don't have to transfer it from this?
No, we'll get it. Lunch.
Okay.
All right, so we just take some of your marinara sauce, like a big healthy. You just drop it in the middle, and then you can spread this while I'll fix yours, and then you just simply kind of go in circles.
I think mine's gonna be fine.
I don't think so. That looks kind of needy.
Okay.
So you're just kind of spinning the sauce.
It's pretty thin.
You can add a little more, but you just want a base to it. You don't have to do anything crazy.
This is really leveling up our pizzas.
Yeah.
If you guys would see the jars of tomato sauce we used to use, amateurs.
Well, what's nice about this is kind of like we said, you can tailor. You know, you can come in and put a little butter with garlic and dial up the bread.
Dad's a big butter and garlic guy. He's about clearing the shelves of the butter this holiday season.
Land O'Lakes, I'm gonna be like,
Sponsor me.
I went through
Okay.
so much when I was doing fudge.
Okay, I think that looks nice. What do you think?
I think that looks a little thick, but
Too thick?
yeah, kind of.
Really?
That's all right. No, that's all right. Just
Get some off.
there you go. Good idea.
Interesting. So I'm used to having a lot more.
You think there's a lot more on there, but you just want a little taste. It's like putting ketchup on a hamburger. You don't want the ketchup to overwhelm the beef. Okay.
Well, that's a good analogy. Noted. I don't know. I'm a big sauce girl, though. Okay. If you want to get real crazy, you could do barbecue chicken pizza. You could do buffalo chicken pizza.
Oh yeah. That's what Max would do.
Okay.
Kinsley would do it too. They're big buffalo.
Okay, so once I do that, next up cheese.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We got mozzarella and Parmesan. You want to do about a cup. You just kind of spread it all out there. The more fat that's in it, you can do freshly grated, but we just did the bag. But the more fat that's in it, the more flavorful it's going to be. We've preheated the oven to 500 degrees. You just want to get it kind of as hot as you want it when you're doing homemade pizza. That makes sure that the dough is crispy and crunchy, but not undercooked.
500 for how many minutes?
Usually it's about 8 to 10. We've got the stone in there now. So you want to if you're going to use a stone, you'll preheat the stove. You can use parchment paper. These are kind of floppy, so I wouldn't set them. Usually you just want to do frozen where you set them right on the grate. Okay, then you can put, there's pepperoni, there's sausage.
I'm a big pepperoni girl. Honestly, I don't discriminate when it comes to pizza. I pretty much like it all.
Well,
I like Supreme now. It's a new development in my taste palette.
I have no safe word when it comes to pizza. You can be as aggressive as you like.
Good one. You're looking at Max and he's not listening.
Okay, so we don't have a peel, so we got got some powder, but you don't want too much flour because it's gonna make it. So you throw a little in front here, and then real quick, 1, 2, 3, boom. Pretty cool. Not bad, not bad. Could have got a little more aggressive, but
That was, I thought that was pretty aggressive.
yeah, let's take, I got it last time in one take, and then okay.
And remind me again why we can't just put it on the stone to begin with.
Because you got to get the stone hot. Damn it. I need a pizza peel. Ah. Two, three, boom. And you're gonna stretch the pizza.
Nice.
It's kind of like getting on a horse. Getting on and getting off are the tricky parts. Just staying on, not necessarily. Okay. All right, you can use cornmeal too. All right, let's go to the grill. Put this on the pellet grill. Maybe it'll go better.
Going out without a coat?
Yeah, I'm tough. I'm like Rip.
Burr.
Okay, we got the grill. It's 475, 485. It's 19 degrees out here. So now we're gonna put this on, slide it off. There you go. All right, 8 minutes. All right, it's been about 7 minutes. Just gonna
Oh, baby.
put that baby on there. It's a little worse for wear, but that dog's gonna hunt.
Oh, yeah. Look at that cheese.
Okay. Oh. See?
It's no beauty contest.
No. This. So look at the bottom. See how it's not burnt, but it's brown. We're down with brown. All right. Okay. First gonna check it. Yeah. It's looking good. It's done. We're gonna pull it. There you go. Arm. You can also throw a little bit of this parm on there if you want. You can also take a little bit of garlic and butter or herbs and put on there on the edges.
More butter.
More butter, baby. Okay, here's the big taste test. This is the one on the grill, on the pellet grill, and this is the one on in the oven at 500. So here's the taste test. Let's look at the bottom. Looks pretty good.
Cheers.
Decent flop.
Mmm. Wow. That is really good.
It's pretty good.
I love it.
I'm
So-
Tony Scaragucci. I've been eating 3 pizzas a day for the past 35 years. This might be the best pie I've ever eaten.
It's good. All right, what's the
Thanks
rating?
for watching. I'd give it a solid 7. I think we can do better.
Compared to the pizzas of Christmas past, this is top notch.
7-4.
I think this is almost restaurant quality. Probably should have cooked them a little longer, but we'll get it down. We'll get it down. Thanks for watching. Check out the pizza playlist. We're gonna make a white sauce coming up.